Hello, welcome to my review of X. X is a horror film that's come out this weekend, at least in England. It's directed by Tai West, I believe that's how you say his name, pronounce his name. I believe it's his directorial debut, and it is a very weird, unusual, unsettling, disturbing, gory film. It's a horror. It's produced by A24. A24 have produced films such as Midsommar, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, Hereditary, The Lighthouse, The Witch, The Tragedy of Macbeth, The Lobster, Uncut Gems even, and they've produced Euphoria, the HBO show with Zendaya. I've not seen that, but so they've got a big track record of producing cult pictures, and this is another that would go into that long line of films that they've done that will push the needle, I believe. If you like the unusual erotica and horror elements in Midsommar and The Lighthouse in particular, I think you'll like this film. It's an X-rated film about a bunch of characters who are making an X-rated adult film on the sly in the outhouse of an old couple that they're renting it from. This old couple are very unusual in the way they act to one another, to the characters, and nudity and murder ensue. That's the plot. I won't go into any details, but it's shot really well. There's some brilliant scenes of the landscape, close-ups, drone shots, landscape shots. It's really well done all the way round. The performances were good. Mia Goth, she's the lead. I've only ever seen her in one other film, and that is called A Cure for Wellness. Jenna Ortega is in this film. I recognised her, and when I was doing research for this, I realised I recognised her because she's in the most recent Scream, which I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. Brittany Snow's in this. I didn't recognise her, but after doing some research, I've seen that she's in both Pitch Perfect films. I don't know to what extent she's in those films, but she's definitely one of the main characters in this. Kid Cudi's in this. He plays a porn star, and he's really good in this. He embodies the role well, and to me, he came across like a real professional actor. I don't know if this is his debut on screen. Of course, he's most known for being the rap music artist that he is, and he's really good in it. Martin Henderson's another one of the main leads, and there's another actor called Owen Campbell who has a slightly lesser role, less lines, but is integral to the plot. He's the filmmaker that wants to accentuate this X-rated flick into something more arty, more French. So you're watching a film within a film, which is very Shakespearean, Greek, I suppose. And like I say, that film that you're watching being made is adult film, X-rated porn flick, basically. And then it turns into out-and-out horror, slasher, potentially, movie. Though there's elements of that all the way through from the opening shot. And the music's brilliant in this, the writing's good, it's quite funny in places, there's lots of nudity, which a lot of films shy away from now, but this film certainly doesn't. It ramps it right up. Both genders are nude in this, and yeah, it's well done. It's well done. Like I say, if you don't like strange erotica or just genuine, I suppose normal erotica, and then horror, then it's probably not the film for you. But if you're interested in seeing that on the screen, then definitely check it out. While I was watching it, I was reminded of a poem that I wrote that I had published this time last year, coincidentally. not because they're completely the same, but they do explore some of the same themes. The poem of mine that I was thinking about as I was watching it, it's called Ageless Amour, and it includes a sex worker, an elderly woman, and a dramatic landscape. Three things that this film certainly has, though mine has none of the horror. I might read the poem just because I haven't read it to any sort of audience for many years now. The last time I read it on stage, I think the only time I read it on a stage was when it was my third year ceremonial night where everyone on the course read some work. Like, there was a room rented out in a pub, and somebody that was on the course, her father turned up, and he was laughing throughout and told me he liked it afterwards, which was very nice. And then, like I say, years later, last year, it was published in The Spectator, and one of my heroes helped make that happen. So massive shout out to Hugo Williams, and if you're interested in poetry, I'd definitely recommend reading his stuff. So the poem reads: knowing the pelvis frail, he thrust at slower pace so not to break or bruise. He once hospitalised old Lady Agatha, his only surviving patron, after she demanded her antique legs be lifted up onto his shoulders while he penetrated with aplomb. She said it was the most exhilarating birthday she had had since she ate partridge with a dame. She recovered in a private hospital bed, and once rejuvenated, moved him into her stylish vacant annex for erotic servicing, her libido still wild and youthful. Her favourite setting for their vigorous sex was under the silver birches in her botanical garden. He spent the next 6 months fulfilling her most exotic and daring desires, until she died of a heart attack. It occurred one day while they picked cocces, recently bloomed off thick branches located throughout her impressive estate. As she collapsed, he kissed her wrinkled lips. A chorus of robins sang a wistful eulogy on the failure of organs' companionship. The half-dead, half-living sculpture of the two enhanced the grandeur of the open field. So that's a poem. It's called Ageless Amour, and if you see this film, you've listened this far in, you'll maybe be able to make those same sort of links. As a final one, I'll just say the film was very impressive to me. It was a sort of breath of fresh air, and I always feel that about A24 films, even if I don't walk away thinking I'd watch that again or I really like that. However, X is a film that I do feel like that about. I'm very much interested in seeing what Tai West does next, what all the cast do next, and be interested to see Kid Cudi in something again. And I can't stress enough, if horror and erotica is your thing, then X will be your thing, I've no doubt. But if not, I'm almost certain it won't be. But anyway, cheers for listening. All the best. Cheers.